Hey guys, so today's video is the hairstyling video that many of you have asked about and been waiting on. I kind of had put it off because I don't really know a lot of hairstyles, despite having like 85 plus rainbow high dolls and having, dyed and sold off a ton of others. I dye hair, but I don't really style it a whole lot. Like, I do your basics, your, let's see here, what do we got? We've got your ponytail. It's very chic. Your classic pigtails. Now, this one is special, and it's one of the things I'm going to show you guys is how to thatch the hair in the back so that you don't have bald spots when you have your doll in pigtails if their hair is not already previously parted for such, because apparently some folks don't really know how to do that. I do the classic half up, half down ponytail. Which, that one's easy enough. What else? I've got the braided pigtails, which again, thatching in the back. I found that that's one of the things that people really didn't know a lot of. Alright, we have the high ponytail. You guys picking up a thing here, like a trend, but I'm telling you, I'm like that TikTok video where it's like, I've got 3 looks, and that's it. And just like, it's a homeless guy, a 12-year-old boy, and a hooker. Well, for me, it's a ponytail, a half up, half down ponytail, and pigtails, and that's about it. But, So one of the other ponytails that I do, that people have asked how I do it, is the wrapped ponytail. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that today. Let's see, I've got the braided crossover. That one's kind of cute. This is like almost like a braided headband out of their own hair. What else? I guess that's about it. Everything else, like I've got some dolls over here that I'm going to style. Real quick, I'm going to show you guys a couple of things. The first being that I dyed 2 dolls last night. They're not 100% finished. For instance, the Sunny I'm about to show you is Cheer Sunny. She still has her cheek decals because I ran out of nail polish remover or acetone. And I don't really have any on hand, so I actually could have stopped by the store this morning and got some, and I got all the way home and then realized I never did it when I was in town dropping my son off for work. So that's my bad, but yeah, other than that, she's pretty finished. She's gonna have her cheek decals removed, and she's gonna get her eyes swapped. I was really hoping to swap them with a Skylar, but I don't know that I have spare Skylar eyes right now. So anyway, I did the blue Phoenix hair that you guys liked on Classic Sunny, or Series 1 Sunny, on Cheer Sunny, and I kind of love it a billion times better. And she actually maintains her crimps pretty well, as does Cheer Ruby, like when you wash and dye them. Because she's got this dyed sweater. I ended up kind of switching Mermaid Jade's clothes out a bit. So yeah, really cute. I'm really glad that I took the time to do that. I actually had gotten her on clearance for like, I think $10 or $15, something like that, at Walmart. Because like all the stores near me are still having the big clearance sales. This young lady was actually supposed to be a bit darker pink, and she was actually supposed to have Sunny's eyes in a completely different outfit, and halfway through I was like, oh no, I like this color, this is fine. So I had wanted to do 2 more Bellas, one that was your classic blonde Bella, and the other, because I'd done a blonde Bella before, but then I tried to dye her tips and didn't like the color, and the other one, a cherry Bella. This is inspired by my Instagram friend, Laura Elaine. I can't remember her last name. Shoot, it starts with a D. But I'll link her down below. She has a Cherry Bella that I absolutely love, and it was like the first Cherry Bella I had seen. I know a couple of other people since have definitely used this color. It's the Rit All-Purpose Cherry Red, but I did the sync method, so it's really just kind of a dark pink. And she was supposed to have Sunny's eyes, like I said, but then I put this outfit on her, which is like Kaya's shorts, but they're like cut up so you don't see the red hearts anymore. And this is like a Barbie princess fashion pack shirt. And then she has the LOL OMG Kitty Kate headband. Her socks, okay, so these black ones are like Mystics, but I don't trust them not to stain. So I put a pair of Bella's classic white socks underneath them, just to kind of protect her legs, and then put these over. And then her shoes are actually like second body Pulip, like early 2000s Pulip doll shoes, back when they had the second bodies that had like the very big wide feet. I only have a couple of pairs of those shoes left. I think the other pair I have is from the afternoon doll, and one of my Monster High dolls are wearing them. I honestly, one of the reasons I don't sell doll clothes and shoes a whole lot now, unless I know that I already have plenty of them, is because I always end up really regretting it. Like when I got my Pulips, I sold all my Bratz clothes, my Mycene clothes, my Pulip clothes, whatever. Like I completely regretted it, because then later when I got into dolls like Monster High that could have worn some of those, could have worn the Bratz clothes, or Rainbow High that could have fit in the Mycene clothes, I had sold them all, and now they're super expensive on eBay. So like that's a thing. But yeah, so I dyed her last night as well. I think I'm just gonna leave these eyes on her because I feel like they suit the outfit, and I like the heart theme that the whole outfit has going on. Like, I'm really happy with her. I'll probably still change Sunny's eyes, but like I said, it has to be with the right doll. Alright, the other hair thing I'm going to show you guys today. So, you guys remember, like, my burgundy, like, crystal? So, I gave her a little bit of a face repaint. It's not, like, the greatest. I guess my camera's not going to, like, focus on it. There we go. I'm not like super good at repainting because I don't have the patience for it, but I do use thin layers. It's not chunky, it's not like whatever, but like I'm not like super skilled at it like some folks. I can give a whole new face up like from scratch. Like I can't do that, but I can kind of very lightly paint over what's already there with like a small brush. So that's kind of what I did with her. It's like nothing major. I just kind of took out some of the blue and purple in her eyeshadow and gave her a new lip. Honestly, I could have done a purple that went a little closer to her, but I kind of wanted her features to stand out a little bit from her outfit, so I had it match more like this red in her shirt. And then, of course, like her boots are those poppy boots that are spray painted from the first time I showed you guys how to spray paint them. And her jeans are dyed Sunny jeans. So her hair is really thick. When you take Crystal's hair down, especially after you've dyed it, like it's just very one big sheet of hair. It's very, very thick. So I don't know if you guys are TikTok fans, or you might have seen it on like Instagram reels or Facebook videos, but there's something called the wolf cut. And recently Brad Mondo, if you guys are a fan of Brad Mondo, I watch his hairstyling videos. Sometimes like I'm scrolling Facebook, I'll see them, or every now and then when I'm uploading my like weekly video, I'll go and like watch whatever new one is out. Like I said, I don't watch YouTube a lot, but like when I do, that's pretty much what I watch, like kind of mindless cool stuff. He gave a tip on how to do your own wolf cut. Now I've done it on my own hair, my future daughter-in-law's hair. Like it's very, very easy, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. It basically adds a bunch of layers, so it's kind of like this new modern shag haircut, if you guys have ever seen like the shag cut from like the 70s. So she has all of these like really nice layers, and if you notice, they all blend. There's not any kind of like harsh lines or anything like that. So I'm going to show you guys how to do layers. I did a cross bang on her just because like all of my other crystals currently have like the center part hair. I don't want something different for her. But yeah, so I'm going to show you guys how to do this layered wolf cut. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't know if it would work when I did it. I had done it on myself, and like I said, my future daughter-in-law Molly. I've done it on humans. I hadn't done it on dolls. Their hair obviously does not sit the same way as a person's hair, but I did it and it worked, and so I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Okay guys, I got everything set up, and here's the game plan. So first of all, I am going to show you guys how to do the braided cross headband on my purple Skylar, just so we can try to get some more of this like top purple hair to show versus the bottom kind of more dark, almost bluish hair. I am going to show you how to do the wrapped ponytail, like the high wrapped ponytail on my orange Stella. And then we are going to do some like nice big soft curls on brunette Violet. I forgot her name. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys, one of the things about having chronic pain is I also have like brain fog, which is very frequent with people who have chronic pain and chronic illnesses. Basically, I just forget stuff constantly, but it's not like normal stuff. At one point, before I started seeing the neuropsychologists, I actually would forget things like in the middle of doing them. Like I would be driving and forget not where I was going, but that I was driving. I quit driving for like a couple of years because the anxiety and the brain fog was like so bad, like I couldn't deal with it. Like I forget names for things that I know, which is how we ended up with yard pigs. I couldn't remember the name for groundhogs, and I was getting frustrated, so I just yelled out the closest words I could think of. I didn't just forget how to do things, I forgot that I ever knew them to begin with, like entire skill sets. One time I was at a Chinese restaurant with my ex-husband, and he was eating with chopsticks, and I told him, I was like, I really wish I could do that, like, that's so cool, like I'm sitting there fumbling with them and I can't get it right. And he looks at me and he goes, you taught me how to do this 3 months ago. You already know how to do this. I forgot, like, all of it. Like, I didn't forget how to do it. I forgot that I knew how to do it. So it's really, really, really frustrating a lot of times, because, like, I used to be, like, the smart friend, and now I'm kind of like that airhead, because, like, I space out. I can't remember words for things. I don't even remember what I'm doing half the time when I'm doing it. Like, it's really dumb. So yeah, like, please forgive me if I end up, like, forgetting a doll's name in the middle of trying to say it, because that happens. Big brain moves. So yeah. All right, I'm going to give you this green Skylar. We're going to give her a wolf cut, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. For my original Crystal, her hair is, again, like, just a really kind of thick block. I will say, crystals were all really rooted. I've never yet, in all of the crystals I've bought one that had thin hair. We're actually going to curl this crystal's hair, but with a smaller barrel curling iron. And then for my blue crystal, because her hair is not so thick, like, it's nice, it's thick, there's no bald spots, but she's not as bad as the other three that I have. And for her, we're actually going to crimp her hair and give it some, like, texture, because all of these dolls really, honestly, all have the same hair. Like, yeah, maybe their parts different, or one has bangs, but they're all either straight, like long and straight, or long and, like, curly wavy. So speaking of which, my poor Holly, like, her curls for the most part just kind of fell out when I dyed her hair. So I'm actually going to straighten it. We're going to, like, because I haven't showed you guys straight hair, we're just going to give her long, nice, straight hair. A lot of these are very, very simple. Honestly, like, you'll probably see them and be like, oh yeah, I can do that. I will say you can use heating tools like curling irons, crimping irons, straightening irons. You just want to set it for, like, a pretty low setting. It might take a little longer, but, like, you're going to guarantee that your doll's hair doesn't get crunchy or, like, crispy at the ends. I haven't really had any of their hair melt, but their hair does, like, I've seen other people, like, post on Facebook where they've straightened their doll's hair, and it's, like, literally, like, dry crunch, like, terrible at the ends. I think first we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the haircut last, because I feel like it's going to make a mess. That is inevitable. So real quick, because the only thing I'm worried about her getting, we're going to do this braid on the Skylar. Okay guys, some of the things I keep on hand is I have this little tray of clear rubber bands for styling. I have this brush, and it's got, like, the little pointed tail. You can also use a rat tail comb, and that's just to kind of help separate parts and whatnot. We have our small barrel curling iron. We have one that is slightly more medium. We have our crimping iron, and this is a mini crimper. It actually isn't like how, like, Cheer Sunny's hair is. It's not big crimps. They're very, very small. And I did one, like, a doll previously, and, like, I didn't love it on her, but hopefully I'll love it on Crystal. And then I've got my straightening iron. So, like I said, first things first, we're going to do just this little kind of side braid on Sunny. So we're going to go in and we're going to pick our hair kind of from the bottom right below her ear. Sorry, trying to get it all. There we go. And we don't need all of that. We're just going to get kind of a small batch. It doesn't need to be, like, massive, but you want it to where there's no bald spots showing. So it's going to be like this. You're going to hold it up. And this is, like, the easy part, you guys. So I'm leaving her, like, a little bit of bang down. Not a whole lot, because, like, if I do, then it automatically tries to put, like, a bald spot right there too. I don't know if I'll love it, but I feel like I probably will. Alright, I like to take my brush, and a lot of people, if you keep a spritz bottle, a lot of people like to get their doll's hair wet because they feel like it's kind of easier to maneuver. You don't pick up as many flyaways. For me, it doesn't seem to really matter one way or the other. Like, it's not really a big deal. But yeah, so we're going to take this, we're going to divide it into 3 parts. Just like you would for a normal braid. And then we're just going to start crossing it over just as if we would if we were doing a normal braid. So you're already getting, like, this normal braid style, nothing complex, nothing kind of weird or tough. You're going to pull the hair kind of tight to the head. All right, then once you have like a pretty decent braid going, you've got like a couple of pieces in, you can take the next piece of hair, and I'm going to take this piece of hair in the front and pull it across to the middle. And what this does is it just kind of braids, sorry, I don't even know if you guys can see this really well, but like it just kind of braids in. So you're going to get a little ways, and then once you get some hair in the middle, you're going to take a piece from this front part that's still here, and you're going to mix it with the hair that's in the middle or the hair that's in the back, because you want it pulled away from where it already is. All right, so then we just kind of keep braiding. I know it kind of gets awkward, like trying to hold it and do it, and then trying to hold it so that the camera can see it and do it is like a whole nother world. All right, so then once I get to the opposite side of her head, and I know that like it's really looking good, everything's going pretty decent, we're gonna keep moving, take one more piece of hair, but this one's gonna be from like behind, and I'm gonna match it to the front, and then braid a little bit more. We really want this to kind of be tight to her head too, like it's just like if she were wearing a headband. All right, and then once you get it like pretty far down, like it's pretty sloppy on this side because I'm doing it quickly, but whatever. I'm gonna take the rubber band and we're gonna tie it off. So it's gonna be like just almost like a little ponytail kind of thing. Like I said, mine isn't the best because I'm just doing it kind of quickly to show you guys how it's done, but voila. So like I did leave some bangs down for her. I made sure that there are no bald spots in the back, no bald spots around the braid at all. But yeah, it's just like your very basic simple braid, and then you tie it off. So you just keep taking pieces of hair from the front and pulling it into the middle or the back piece of the braid. Then when you get down low enough, you take a piece from back here and pull it across to the front piece of braid that you're holding, braid it a little more, and then tie it off. Quick and pretty simple. Next up, we are going to do the wrap ponytail on this Stella. So this one again is pretty easy. I tend to take like a little bit of hair from the front and just leave it down so they have like some bangs. All right, so this is what I've got. I'm holding her hair like this. It's in a nice ponytail. Everything's good to go. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna come to the back, and we're just gonna take, you can take your comb, your brush, whatever, and you're just gonna take some of this hair right here in the back and pull it away. Here we go. All right, you guys. So we've come this far. We've taken our brush and we've separated the hair, and you basically want to keep this bottom row out, okay? This is how I do it. There are probably better ways. Like I've definitely made videos in my earlier days, and since I've learned better ways to do stuff, as I'm sure it happens with most customizers and YouTubers. Like I said, I don't watch a lot of videos, but I'm sure everybody's had that moment where they look back and they're like, oh, you know what? I should have done it like this. In one of my very early videos, I was talking about how to take their bangs out and like just trimming them and then pulling them out with tweezers or whatever. Legit, you don't even have to do that. You can literally just kind of pull them with your fingers. You don't even have to cut them at all. So that's a thing. You can just literally pull their bangs out and it leaves a perfectly clean line. No problems. So yeah, you definitely learn stuff as you go. So now I have her in a ponytail. I have her bangs down where I want them. I'm gonna make sure that the ponytail is pretty well centered and as high as I want it. If you need it to be further forward and you're having trouble getting it to there, what you can do is you take this front hair and you pull it this way and you just kind of wiggle it forward. So see, like it does that thing, but you have to be careful because you can risk it losing like its smoothness around the edges. Let me just pull everything right quick. All right, there we go. All right, so we've got her high ponytail, we've got her bangs left out, and we've got this back sheet of hair left out. Now next up, we're gonna go in, we're gonna take this back sheet of hair, and we're going to divide it like pretty close to the middle, as close as we can get. You can use a comb to make sure you get it like pretty exact, or you can just use your fingers and get it, well, it's called close enough. All right, so you'll have two strands like this. You're gonna cross them over, and do your best to kind of use your fingers to keep them smooth. Like I said, if you wet their hair, it's probably a lot easier to keep it smooth. But you're going to make an X shape. Sorry about that. Yeah, like an X shape, cross their hair over each other. And then you're going to lift the ponytail, take the first piece and wrap it this way, and the second piece and wrap it this way. Now you can wrap it sometimes, depending on the length of their hair, like 2 or 3 times. But the point is that when you're done, you're just going to come back here to the actual ponytail itself, like the hair that is in the rubber band, and you are going to pull out a strand, and you're going to pull it with the 2 tails from the other hair, and then we are going to take a rubber band, if I can get one separated, here we go, and you are going to tie it off, so you're making a second ponytail at the base of the first ponytail. As crazy as that sounds, I don't know how well you guys will be able to see what I'm doing. I feel so bad about that. Like, I can't really figure out a way to, because my ring light is broken, have it hold my phone to where you guys can see better without my hand in the way. So like I said, your first ponytail is now wrapped, and the second ponytail that's underneath, which is the 2 pieces of hair and a piece of this ponytail to keep it all together, is now blended in with that first ponytail. I am gonna like curl her hair better as well, but I'll probably do that off camera since we have everybody else to curl. But there you go, there is your wrapped ponytail, easy peasy. And now you can't see any rubber band. Like I said, the other one blends straight in. You can't even tell that like it's wrapped underneath. Okay guys, so here's what we've got. We've got Crystal, and like I said, it's my blue Crystal. I have at the back section of her hair, we're going to start in small sections. This one actually takes a good while, so I won't record all of it, but I'm going to give you the basic gist of it. So this is the Remington mini crimper. It was sold at Sally's like several years ago, but you can probably find them online. The plates are very, very small. This is not, like I said, it doesn't even crimp as big as like Cheer Sunny or Cheer Ruby. It's very small crimps, and I've already done like a small section, so I'm just going to show you guys right quick. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's very, very small crimp, so it does take a while to get all the hair done. Alright guys, so like I said, this is pretty small, but you can do a pretty wide section of it, and you don't have to hold it for very long. It's basically like push it down, move it over, open it, you know, whatever, push it down. It doesn't take very long. You don't have to push super hard, which is good, because between my arthritis and my carpal tunnel, I don't think I could anyway. And there you go, a whole section of crimped hair. So like I said, this takes quite a while. This does not have any kind of temperature control on it. It's got an on-off button on the inside, and that is it. I have no idea what temperature this is. Alright guys, so having the whole back section done, here it is. And like, I'll go back in and get these little areas that I kind of missed, but I'm going to do this right quick, and then I'll be right back with you to show you the results. Okay guys, so here is the crimping on Crystal. It's weird, like I think it looks prettier in person than it does on camera for sure. Like, I feel like with the shine in her hair, you can't see how even the crimps are. I also put some product in her hair, which is this Garnier Fructis Sleek and Shine. And it's really just to kind of keep the flyaways down, so that like when I take pictures of her, like her hair's not all in her face. So I tend to use it on all my dolls because it doesn't make their hair greasy or like weird or whatever. But yeah, so there's her hair. And I will say that when you do the crimping, it does make her hair feel like thicker and fluffier. So there is that, yeah. So while I was taking my husband's lunch break so I could text him and I wasn't recording, I went ahead and redid the braid in Skylar's hair. It wasn't like as clean as it could have been. There you go. Yeah, so there she is in the front with her little braided headband hair. And I think it does a better job of showing off that light purple that was like dyed into the top of her hair, because you really do see more of the blue from underneath. Alright, and then next up, I went ahead and curled 2 out of the 3 dolls. Here is Crystal with her curls. And I know a lot of people use the straw and hot water method. I have nothing against that, except for that it takes a little time to prep because you have to cut all the straws. And then it just takes a little time to sit there and curl them. And honestly, like, I'm not a very patient person, so I've always just used my curling iron. Here is Orange Stella with her curls. So I do think that if you do the straw method, you can get like tighter, bouncier curls, whereas a lot of these are just kind of like loose, wavy body. And I don't have any product in her hair, so that's a thing too. Now for Violet, I literally just wanted to get some of the straightness out. So it really was just loose body and then running my fingers through it afterwards. But basically what I do is whenever I curl their hair, like I'll take a section of it, and usually I'll start with a small section underneath their neck just to make sure their hair doesn't burn. I think like I'm always kind of paranoid that the like MGA will switch the fabric of their hair and we won't know it, and then somebody will go to like curl their doll's hair from the front and melt a giant chunk. Alright, so first thing I do is I take the curling iron, pull it down, roll under, and I'll do some under and some over, like just so that there's a bit of like textural difference, I guess, or like, I don't know. But yeah, so there you go. It curls her hair. I wouldn't get your curling iron too close to their skin. I do think it would absolutely melt. But yeah, so I just wrap it around and then kind of ease it off, and there are curls. I don't feel like they show up very good on camera, honestly, but like they do show up better in person. So yeah, and then like I said, I run my fingers through it so it's not too tight. It just gives her some bounce at the bottom of her hair. Because like I said, I don't really want her to have curly hair, but I just wanted it something different than the straight. Alright, so the next up, we have this lovely lady. So I'm going to plug in the straightener right quick and let the curling iron cool off, and then we'll come and straighten her hair. Okay, so we have Holly here, and like I said, most of her curl has pretty much come out just from like when I washed her hair and dyed it. So we're going to do the same thing as I would do with any doll. I'm going to take a strand from the very back. So this straightening iron I got, it was like 80 bucks, and I got it like back when I was still married to my last husband, so like a really long time ago, probably 7 or 8 years ago. It's eye fusion. Yeah, so I'll just go over them like 2 or 3 times until they seem pretty straight. If I need to, like I'll run a brush or a comb through them to like finish straightening them out. You want to make sure that the hair, when you straighten it, isn't tangled at any point. Sorry, I heard Sausage open the door and I was just like creeped out by it. He's very excited about like why this mirror is down there. What are you doing, buddy? Yeah, he's really, like I know you guys have probably seen in previous videos, really good at opening doors when he wants in. Even if they're locked, he finds a way. I guess he's gonna hang out here with us. Not like the best spot for him to be, but alrighty. He's baby and he basically gets to do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. He pretty much runs the whole house and lets everybody know it. So like I like to especially get the ends because I find sometimes that they're like scraggly, and this kind of helps make them sleek. Yeah, like the straightening definitely doesn't take as long as the curling. I found that the curling and like the crimping was the worst, obviously, because it's a very small crimping iron. But like the curling does take a while. And like I said, it's better to go on a lower heat and work your way up if necessary than to risk starting off on a high heat and burn your doll's hair off. I might go back over the ends again because they are a bit thicker. But look how shiny that hair is. Yeah, the ends, I don't know why, but they always feel like thicker than the rest of the hair. And they, like, it takes longer to get them to curl or straighten. So there we go. Nice straight hair. Alright guys, so there's our straightening. Next up, we are going to work on the haircut doll. Give me 1 second till it sauce out. Alright, so I do have to be a little more careful because I do have hot tools all around. So here's what you're going to do. In order to do this wolf cut, because as I've shown you earlier in this video, it's very much like just a bunch of layers. So you have like these nice blended layers. They're not like stacked straight across or, you know, super obvious. I ended up doing this where I didn't want to take any length off of her hair. if you wanted your doll to have shorter layers, you would definitely take the length off first. And anytime I'm cutting length off, here, I'll show you on the doll we're going to work on. What I do is, like, I'll go through and select just certain rows, and then I'll pull them down to where I want them and trim them across, then pull down the next row and trim it across. I try not to do a whole bunch at once, because I feel like when you do that, like, super heavy blunt cut across multiple layers, you're usually pulling it down and, like, it's kind of scrunched together. So when you let it go, it doesn't look like what it's supposed to look like. So like I said, just go rooting layer by rooting layer, and then cut the layer that you want to the length that you want, then pull down the next layer. You know, be really careful how you hold it. Just kind of let it fall how it would naturally fall, and then trim, versus like holding onto it and pulling it down, because when you're pulling it down, when it lets go, it's going to come back up shorter. So you think you're pulling it down to the length you want, but you're not, because now it's up to here. So definitely don't pull the hair down. Like, let it kind of fall down and trim it as it sits. Put your doll on the stand with her back to you, whatever, and try to do it that way if you don't, like, if you need your hands free. So, however, for the wolf cut, we are kind of doing this weird blunt cut thing. So I have all of her hair in a ponytail. You want your ponytail to be towards the front of the head, and you want to make sure that it is centered with the nose. Okay, so then you're going to take one strand from the very back and you're going to leave it out. This strand is going to tell you where you don't want to cut the length to. So you're going to pull the ponytail up, and then you're going to pull the strand up. So the strand, if you look, stops right here. So that's like a good inch off of her hair. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull them all up together. We're going to keep our eye on the strand, because that's what we don't want to cut below. So no matter what your length is, that strand in the back is going to be at the longest length. You don't want to cut above that unless you want to risk losing length. All right, so next up, and this is where it gets kind of complicated because I'm trying to like film and hold it, but I'm basically just going to trim this top off. And this is going to be kind of blunt. I like to stop every couple of snips and just kind of shake the loose hair out so I can see what I've got and what I still need to trim. So at this point, her hair will still be the original length in the back, but it is going to have all of these like very shagged out layers in the front. Alright, so sometimes when you get towards where like the inside of your finger is holding, it can be kind of hard. It is okay to let part of the hair down and just keep part of it up, like a smaller section, in order to make sure that you're able to cut this inside piece evenly, because like where it sits with your fingers, sometimes it just kind of slants itself and then it ends up longer than everything else. All right, you guys, so now that I have that main part cut off, like it feels like a makeup brush, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in like this, and I'm just going to take some of the bulk out. And we'll do this kind of like vertical trimming again once we let all the layers down as well. Alright guys, and you don't want to do too much. Alright, you ready to let it down? Alright, so now I'm going to brush her hair down. I'm going to hold it over the work area so that any other loose hair that falls out in that section. And I only have one area to clean up and not like my lap, my floor, whatever. Alright, so here's what our hair currently looks like. So as you can look, some of these are kind of thick and they don't blend as well. What we're going to do is we're going to take a small section at the top, and we'll do this again in layers. You don't want to do it all at once. You're going to hold it like this, and again just kind of pull it out towards you. It's kind of easier when they're on their stands, honestly. Like, I don't actually know where I sat their stands though. Like, I had a whole bunch of them, but I move stuff and that kind of happens. Alright, so I'm going to use the end of my brush and I'm going to stick it in her hair in a straight line, kind of separate the rows, because I want to take a thin line. Like, I don't want it to be a super thick chunk. Alright, there we go. We're going to brush this upward. And again, because it's very thick right there and it looks kind of straight across, we're just going to do this vertical cutting. So you can even kind of angle your scissors a little bit. You're not taking a whole lot off. Or for some people, it's even easier if you leave them holding up like this and then just trim upwards in the areas that you see that are kind of thick until it blends well. Don't get snip happy. Go slow. Snip off very small strands at a time, because the one thing you don't want to end up doing is mutilating your doll's hair, and then you think, well, now I gotta cut a little bit off because that looks bad. Then the next thing you know, you gotta cut a little more off because that's still not sitting quite right. And the next thing you know, your doll has a bob and it's still not even. But you can't cut any more off because it'll look terrible. Like that's, you know, I know that everybody has been there, even when we were kids with our Barbies, whatever. All right, so once you started trimming and the layers start to gradiate into each other and they're no longer like blocked straight across, you're on the right track. Again, just go slow. You just want to take little bitty snippets out of the end. You don't want to be like super wild and crazy. And then voila, you've got your shag wolf layers. Now, the one thing I would say is use your straightener and kind of curl the layers outward like that to flip them. And it'll look a lot more like the wolf cut after that. But yeah, so now she has layers. Her hair is not all straight across. It's really just down to styling. A cut will only do so much. You still gotta style their hair afterwards. And honestly, like, I will dye their hair and then just never style it because I'm tired and I don't have time. And then when I do have free time, I'm dyeing more dolls, so I still don't have time. Like, that's a thing. So we're gonna pop our straightener back on right quick. And we're just gonna give her like some flipped ends, just a little bit of dimension to her hair. I honestly like followed the Brad Mondo human hairstyling video, but again, I just want to say, like, human hair and doll hair are not the same. Like, our hair grows in each individual follicle. Their hair is rooted in big, I guess, chunks. I don't even know. Okay, so we're gonna have a thunderstorm here any second. I'm gonna go rescue my dog from outside because she's on the porch like playing, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so you can kind of see how it's going. Like, she's got these kind of flips at the end. Sorry, I had to rescue her because like it is definitely thundering and gray, and like I feel like the sky's gonna open up any minute, and she doesn't like getting wet, and she's not super big on thunderstorms. Alright guys, so just so I can show you right quick how I'm doing this, I'm just taking like a random, well, now I'm gonna drop it because I'm Butterfinger. Alright, let's separate that out. So I'm gonna just take this random strand of hair, and I'm taking my curling iron, or my straightening iron, and I'm putting it in, and I'm just kind of bending it upward so that when it comes down, it kind of curls out. And that's what's going to show off the shag layers the best. Like I said, obviously you could do a much shorter shag. You could do like a 70s style shag. Like, most of the time though, when I cut doll hair, I do use that vertical method because I feel like trimming off little bits of like hair at a time with just like the tips of your scissors, you're not going to be as likely to take off too much and screw it up as if you were cutting straight across. And I'm sure there are actually people out there who are much better for telling you guys this than I am. Like, I literally have learned so much since I made my first videos. I sometimes even think about like just taking them down because like I feel like they're missing information that I've learned since then. But I don't know, they're good for very like early beginners anyway. I will say, like, some of the things that I've definitely learned about dolls, like, I learned how to get their eyes in easier than I did in the first like eye change video. I've learned like how to dye their hair in different ways than I learned in the earlier videos. Like, my first video is so basic. Like, and I know that's like everybody has to start somewhere. I do wonder if like I'll ever get to that point where I'm like, oh, I'm a big influencer, I have fancy this and fancy that. I mean, that's everybody's dream, I know. Like, I tend to be more down to earth, and I kind of prefer it that way after living the social media life. But at the same time, like, I don't know if anybody's ever looked at like these well-off influencers and not thought, man, that could be kind of fun, especially the part where like you get like free dolls from doll companies. At the same time, knowing how much energy and effort it takes to like make videos constantly and like do all of the little extra stuff and always dress nice and always have your makeup nice and always have the right lighting and always edit your videos just right, and then pay someone to design like all the graphics for you for your intros and outros and, you know, whatever. Like, I get that like a free doll probably doesn't really make up for that amount of effort that's put in. Like, I honestly, even with the amount of effort I put in, if somebody was like, well, just keep making videos and I'll send you the occasional free doll to review, like, you have to love what you do. I imagine, like, you have to really love making videos. We're still getting to know each other, me and making videos. I don't hate it, but I can't always say I love it. Like, I think I spend a lot of time very, very anxious about it. Worried, like, what if people are mean to me in the comments, or what if they take something I say wrong and I end up, like, canceled? Because right now we live in a culture where people are taking stuff very seriously and they're trying to change the world, and sometimes it can lead people to being a bit overzealous of things. But, like, literally, like, you have to be so careful what you say because people, like, freak out and they take things totally the wrong way and, like, run with it. So, like, being an influencer at all, like, you can't tell me that the occasional free doll is worth risking being made fun of, having people make public comments about you, always in your business, like, all this crazy stuff. Like, I cannot imagine. But what I can imagine is how adorable her hair looks now. Look at all those layers. So yeah, that is how you do a wolf cut and a layer. Like I said, you just take your straightening iron and just bend the hairs up at the ends, and that's it. That's all there is to it. And that pretty much concludes everything for today, you guys. I showed you the 2 new dolls I made. I showed you how to do doll hairstyles. There are probably better videos out there. I would like to recommend the Doll Boy, who I will link down below, who has done beautiful box braids and twists and all kinds of really cool stuff on his dolls. He does these beautiful lookbook videos. I don't watch YouTube a lot, but this morning I literally, because I remember seeing, okay, here's the thing. So when I first went into Rainbow High, I would occasionally Google how to do something. I struggle to learn from watching videos as well as I do from, like, reading things and seeing still photos. But I would watch the occasional video, and so like I said, I've seen like 1 or 2 from different influencers here and there, but I've never really sat down and watched like a lot of them. But his, I remember finding his, I don't remember what I was looking up. Probably something about a hairstyle, but I remember seeing his. I really like his voice. I think that he's Dutch and he has like this really pleasant accent and his voice is really calm and even. And so I really love his videos. Like, I sat down this morning and made myself watch like 5 or 6 of them, and just actually like tried to understand like what he was walking through. Like I said, it's a struggle for me, like watching videos. I can't really, I don't know, like my brain doesn't translate what they're saying properly. So, but I did watch them. I really like his videos. He does a lot of hairstyle videos. So like I said, I'll link him down below. There are probably a ton of other people who do more than I do. Like I said, I am the queen of the ponytail, the half up and down ponytail, the low ponytail, the high ponytail, the double ponytail into pigtail, like braided ponytail, all of it. So there are definitely people out there who can show you a lot more about doll hairstyles than I can. Sorry this video was long. Like, I always feel like I want to chat with you guys and get to know you better and let you get to know me better, but then it always makes for really long videos. Okay guys, I actually almost forgot to show you something. I was putting the video in the editor and starting to watch it back when I realized I said I would teach you guys about thatching, and then like, I forgot. So here's what thatching is. Let's say on Skylar right quick that she has a very obvious side part. All Skylars do. And let's say that I wanted her to have a center part. I'm going to take my comb and I'm going to go straight up from her nose. And you can use a toothpick, a rat tail comb, a regular comb, whatever. But I'm going to divide her hair where I want her part to be. Now if you look, there's a lot of scalp. And especially on dyed dolls, it's super obvious a lot of times unless you've painted it, because it's a different color. So what we're going to do, and I will, give me just a second, I'll aim my phone down so you guys can see. Okay guys, time for thatching. So like I said, I've got this where I want the middle part to be. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take hair from one side of her head and I'm going to pull an equal piece from the other side of her head, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross them over. And that doesn't seem like it would be like, I don't know, super effective or whatever, but then you're going to go up another section and take a couple of chunks and you're gonna cross those bad boys over. And sometimes if your doll's hair is like super thin, this doesn't even help in terms of methods to cover baldness, but for the most part this works. So again, you can take parts from the other side and cross them over, and you just keep working your way up this way. Like, it's kind of boring, but we're doing our best. So yeah, then we'll take that and that. All right, so now her hair is all crisscrossed in the back. Now, I didn't do the top of her hair, obviously. This is just to show you like a really brief version. But if you look, her hair is crisscrossed over, and what do you see? No bald spots. No open blue areas. Well, except for on the top where I hadn't done. So that's all thatching is. It's just crisscrossing the hair to create a new part line. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, drop comments down below and let me know what you think about different hairstyles, or if you know of some that I should try or look for, whatever. Follow me on Instagram for still pictures of these dolls. I know, like, I am really behind on doing doll photos. I have not even done like the new OMGs. Like, I used to do all of them in a certain style. Honestly, I've been telling myself I'm going to pull out my DSLR and make a decent go of it, but like, it's effort because I shoot in RAW, so then I have to put my memory card in my laptop, I have to pull up Photoshop, I have to convert everything, and then I'm going to want to do full editing because the photographer in me says I have to. I do want to try it, like I do. I think doll photography is beautiful, and I think I could be really good at it if I put my mind to it. So definitely give me a follow on Instagram. You can always hit me up there too if you guys want commissions or you just want to chat about dolls. I can get kind of slow answering messages because sometimes I get bogged down and there's like a bunch of them. I'll have like 20 or 30 and then I just get overwhelmed and kind of shut down. Like, my anxiety says don't open that, because when you open that you're just going to see like message, and it's like sensory overload. But I do write everybody back. Sometimes, like I said, it takes me 2 or 3 days, but like, I got you, bro. If you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Yeah, so follow me over there. Check out the doll boy. I'll see you guys next week.